With the internet being so gigantic these days, it doesn't take long to gather 10 different opinions regarding potty training one's child. Sadly, most of these are actually heavily outdated, and considering potty training is so important for your child's development, this can be dangerous and hurt your chances of easily and quickly potty training your child moving forward. Nevertheless, you can't just simply rely on trial and error, but you need a plan for potty training. Otherwise, the whole thing will descend into madness and your child will be left confused. If you want to avoid cleaning up a mess regularly, keep watching this video until the very end, as I am not sure how much longer it will stay online. I have researched the topic of potty training extensively over many years, and will now, for the first time ever, reveal a method to you that has been proven to work with all children, even the most stubborn ones, within just 3 short days. Although I've been called a potty training wizard and many other names, I'm not too comfortable with this because I'm just a normal parent like many of you. My name is Susan Fox, proud mother of 3 beautiful and healthy children that I love to death. Today, I want to share with you my personal story of how I found the best way to potty train children. The funny thing is that it's something that I actually stumbled upon by chance. Over time, I developed a quick and effective technique and kept testing it, and I now can show you how you personally can potty train your child within just 3 days guaranteed. And most importantly, wouldn't you love to finally get rid of the diapers and all the smell? I know I did. When I was a little girl, I had the dream of having enough children for a soccer team whilst living out in the country by a river somewhere. Although I haven't reached double digits yet, it's funny how life really turns out in the end. I do now look after dozens of children in my own daycare center, so I have gotten to really know the habits and mindsets of children between the ones in daycare and my own children at home. With this many children in my life, potty training was a huge problem I knew I would have to overcome eventually. However, I was genuinely quite excited when my first child, Martina, had her first birthday, because I knew that the eventual necessity of potty training would be a journey we would discover together. Personally, I thought the experience would be a rewarding one as my 25-month-old Martina took the next steps in her childhood. Soon enough, she started showing signs of interest in that big white bowl filled with water in the bathroom, and a sudden feeling of panic hit me right in the face. I realized I had no clue where to start or what to do. Unfortunately, this is something we don't quite remember doing as children ourselves, so we have no experience in what to do or how to approach the situation correctly. With most things, we can relate back to what we were feeling or thinking, but this wasn't one of those occasions. Then I noticed it was strange that there are always people there to guide you through the early years, whether it's giving birth or burping our babies, but there is nobody to provide support for potty training. After recognizing it wasn't my fault, I thought I would ignore all the opinions and hearsay out there and look for a step-by-step guide on the internet, something you're probably doing right now too. Within about 3 minutes, I was more confused than ever before, with some talking about reward charts and stickers, whilst others discussed Japanese potties that would play music when you peed. I didn't know where to look, where to listen, and where to spend my money. I was quite literally being offered an all-singing, all-dancing potty. Many parents start with turning to pull-ups, and this is what I was advised to do at the beginning as well. However, I started to notice a trend at my daycare center. Children who skipped pull-ups entirely generally trained much faster using the potty. As I spent more time at the daycare over the next couple of months, this trend almost became a fact, which led me towards thinking pull-ups weren't as effective as many thought. As time went on, I kept seeing advertisements for pull-ups and other parents telling me I should jump on the bandwagon, but I couldn't work out why they were so popular. Then I took a step back and looked towards the motivation of the company rather than what they're offering the market. Let's not forget, the diaper industry is now worth billions of dollars because it's a necessity, and everybody is aware of their importance. This being said, it's a fairly unique market in that diapers are only required for a certain amount of time. Once children grow old enough, parents simply have no need for diapers, and the big brands know this, hence the pull-ups. At the end of it all, diaper companies are just like every other company in that they need to make as much money as possible, and pull-ups enable them to keep hold of a certain amount of customers for a little bit longer. Although they are advertised as this superb tool to help with potty training, I am 100% convinced that they extremely hinder the process and make it much harder for you to teach your child how to use the potty in the long run, while simultaneously filling the pockets of the billion-dollar diaper industry. Before we continue, a quick word of warning. I just want to give a small warning in the shape of a story, and it comes from my love of shopping. Just like many others, I like nothing better than to pass by shop windows whenever I get the opportunity. Even though I don't always buy anything, since most of our family income tends to go towards rent, bills, and food, it's still nice to try on clothes. And this time, I was with my Martina, now 25 months old, and we had just started the potty training process. Suddenly, some beautiful Gucci dress pants caught my eye, and I had to try them on. Of course, even before I reached the dressing room, I knew I would never spend that much on pants, but why not try them on for fun anyway, right? Now, I know for a fact that all women reading this have tried on at least one piece of clothing where it fits like a dream, and you can't pull your eyes from the mirror. For me, the Gucci pants offered me one of these moments, but I knew I had to take them off at some point. Since it was the first week of me potty training Martina completely on my own without a proven plan, it was so frustrating since I had absolutely no idea how to make her tell me when she needed the potty. And then it happened. In what seemed like slow motion from the movies, I unbuttoned the dress pants and they dropped into a puddle of pee on the floor. See, while my eyes were fixed on the mirror and those shiny pants, Martina quietly had an accident all over the changing room's floor. Not only did I have to pay $450 for the pants, but I was more embarrassed than ever in my life before. In these embarrassing moments in life, you can react in one of two ways. You cry and give up, or you use it as motivation to keep pressing forward, and I decided on the latter. Rather than letting it get me down, I was motivated to find the quickest potty training method, and I was in the perfect position to learn with my job at the daycare. Within a few weeks, I could see what methods parents were using and how successful their experiences had been with and without pull-ups. Soon enough, it became apparent that potty training is nothing more than a puzzle. You know what it should look like in the end, but getting there and finding the pieces that fit is another story altogether. Over time, I built a huge folder full of notes, and my daughter was only fully trained at 28 months. In the months leading up to this, I learned a significant amount and tried every method and trick there was. Plus, Martina had countless accidents, which made it a very frustrating, painful, and embarrassing time for the both of us. But in the end, I was so grateful to have everything in my folder because I knew I could use it again in the future. In addition to my folder, I started to get feedback from parents from the daycare and their own notes as to what they found effective and what wasn't working no matter how hard they tried. Eventually, it became a study, sometimes even an obsession for me, and the research was proving critical because it gave feedback for dozens of children rather than just my Martina. After around 2 years and after my second child, I found what I think is the best technique you will ever find on the internet in parenting books, in parenting courses, or anywhere else in the world. As you will see, it is a technique that has any child potty trained within just 3 days. Once I was confident in what I had created, I handed out copies of the most important notes at my daycare center. At first, I was a little nervous because I had worked extremely hard and didn't want to be embarrassed again or receive harsh feedback. But I was quickly rewarded when the other parents were approaching me and asking for the notes and whether I could help. Whenever somebody asked, I would pass over the guide and attach a business card to the top so they could contact me with questions, concerns, or simply recommend me to friends and family members. In less than a month, I gave my guide to over 173 mothers and fathers, and I knew I had found something fantastic. Every morning, I would walk into my office and be shocked at the amount of messages on my answering machine. The amount would grow day by day as people told their